Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib, and we got a great show for you today. And if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. And guys, let's get started with it. Beeb, I love it. DAZN. This was DAZN fight, right? Josh Taylor. I always catch the replays. Josh Taylor versus Essiman. Essiman.
Essiman's perfect, yeah.
Listen, I should know his name because I won a lot of money, babe. I'm saying I won a lot of money on this fight. And you know this because you got the receipt. I sent it to you. So we were talking about this fight last week in the chat. 5 dimes. That's right.
Units.
5 units, baby. Gangster talk for $5. All right. $5 turned into $17. My 5-star parlay hit all over the place, son. $5. That's how that's like my high bet. That's like my standard high bet.
Slices of pizza at Publix now, man. You're good to go.
Publix.
You're good to go.
Nobody says Publix. What's the matter with you? Oh my gosh. So we were talking about this fight last week, right? And there was a few people in the chat that said he ain't getting past Essiman. He's not getting past him.
No.
I'd never heard of the guy. You never heard of the guy.
He fought
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I want you to come clean, come correct. You didn't know him. I want you to say it.
When you say I didn't know him, it's not like we had like phone conversations or anything. I mean, I stumbled across his name on a DAZN undercard. I actually did forget about him until someone brought him up to me about like he fought Scarf, that guy's Scarf on the DAZN undercard. You probably saw him, but I
probably did, but I just didn't.
You just don't remember him. That's what happened to me.
It was
you saw him on a DAZN undercard.
Memorable.
Yeah, you probably saw him on a DAZN undercard, and you forgot about him. That's
probably it. Aaron Daly said Eric should be sending me half. I said it last week. Aaron, your check for $8.50 will be in the mail. I was so excited, though. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he actually won.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
These guys knew something we didn't. That's why,
they
sure
you have
to listen to the UK fans, because we don't know all of their domestic level fighters like they do.
They know all of them, don't they? They do. I mean,
they were adamant about Essiman winning this fight.
They got to be the best boxing fans in the world. Am I right?
I've always said it.
I mean, you can say
always said
Mexican fans and everything like that, but I think the UK fans know more about all of their fighters.
They're the best.
Yeah, they love it. They love boxing. I'm telling you, man, they're by far the best. That's question correct. About it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's talk about it. Josh Taylor versus Essiman. 12 rounds, welterweights. Essiman wins by unanimous decision in Scotland, son. It was in Scotland over Josh Taylor, 116, 113, 117, 112, and 115, 113. Essiman started slow. He was a slow starter, man. That's what, I was shocked that he got the decision because it was in Scotland. It was like right in this guy's hometown.
Right.
Like, that guy's not going to lose there. And sure enough, man, he had unanimous decision. So that fight was wider than they actually thought, man. I'll tell you that.
I had it 117 and 111. One of the judges had it 116 and 112. And there were rounds that when Carl Frampton was scoring the fight, because he had the fight 115 and 113, but there were
he had that fight real close. Yeah, I thought he had the fight a little too close.
Yeah, there were 2 rounds that he gave to Josh Taylor that I gave to Essiman. I didn't think that Josh Taylor won them, and I was a little surprised he gave it to him.
Well, I tell you what, man, Josh Taylor started off quick. I gave him those first 2 rounds. The third, you could have went to Essiman, maybe. in that fourth round.
Yeah, I gave Essiman the third and the fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I gave Taylor round 5. But then from rounds
that 3 and 4 were even up in the air. You couldn't, I mean, they were both, questionable. Yeah. They were both questionable, I thought.
Yeah, but round 6 through 12.
He just put it on him, man.
Just blew him away.
He just faded. He faded down the stretch, man. Yeah. He started off fast. And I'll tell you what, he had him shot in the first 2 rounds. Taylor had him, and he didn't have him in trouble. But if he would have caught him with a few more, he could have had him in, a lot of trouble there.
Yeah, he was pushing him back. He was applying pressure.
Yep, he was dominating those 2 rounds, and then it just, the body work. I think the body work of Essiman paid dividends down the stretch, man. It really did. He went to his body a lot.
Yeah, what I think happened was Taylor couldn't keep up with the pace.
Yeah,
because Taylor couldn't hit him with anything to slow him down and break his rhythm. And Essiman did a great job inside. And Essiman was mauling and manhandling Taylor a little bit. Like Taylor likes to get rough on the inside, but he couldn't do that to Essiman. Essiman was actually being the bully in there, inside in the clinches, because he was grabbing him, leaning on him, maneuvering him, walking him back, and he just kept pushing him back. And Taylor's not a good fighter when he's moving backwards. Some fighters can't fight off the back foot, and Taylor is one of those fighters. He's definitely one of those fighters. He likes to be in control. He likes to be the guy applying pressure. And when he's not able to do that in a fight, then there's not much else he can do. With all due respect, he just doesn't have much of a plan B or C in there. He is who he is, and if what he does isn't working, then he loses the fight. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it really is. He doesn't fight well going backwards. How do you, okay, so he's a professional boxer, and he's got these trainers that got to know this, right? They got to know that he's not good going back. Why don't they work on this in camp?
You could try things with certain guys, but certain guys they're just not going to get things. They're just not going to get it. Like you could tell Prince Nassim Hamed to throw the right hand or the straight left, the conventional way. You could tell him 1,000 times to throw the straight left the conventional way. He's just not going to. He just can't do it.
Yeah, and we remember like when didn't he went to Emmanuel Stewart for a little bit.
Yeah,
Nas went to Stewart for a little bit, and it just didn't. It was one of those things. It's just not
certain guy. You can only teach guys what they're capable of learning.
Yeah,
and what they're able to do, and this is what it is.
And what was it? It was Emmanuel Stewart. When he was talking about what is that middleweight from
Jermaine
Taylor. Yeah. And he says as soon as he gets hit, he's going to revert back to whatever he was before he got hit. He said he'll come out and he'll do the style that we want him to do, but as soon as he gets tagged with a hard shot, everything in his mind will revert back to, he'll forget everything he learned in camp.
And you would see him in the corner literally screaming at Jermaine Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I told you about what we're supposed to do, and we worked on this in the gym, and you're not. You'd be going nuts on him.
And Stewart was typically like calmer in the corner. Yeah. He was like, and when he was sitting there yelling at you, man, you were doing something wrong.
Yeah, Stewart was not quick-tempered, but he was bad-tempered. When he was pissed off, he got pissed off.
I think it takes a lot to get him there, but once he's there, he's there.
Remember that fight against Eddie Chambers, Vladimir Klitschko?
Yeah.
You're gonna get another bullshit decision again, blah blah blah. You're gonna go out there and you gotta get him. You gotta go out there and get this guy. Like he was yelling at him, and then Vladimir
Lennox Lewis. You remember the Lennox Lewis fight?
Yeah,
with Tyson.
In the Tyson fight,
and he really gave it to Lewis in the corner, man.
You're gonna let him. You're gonna let him back in the fight. You had this guy. No, you he just scream at these guys.
Oh yeah.
And these guys are big heavyweights, and he's a little dude like this. He's fucking screaming at these guys like he doesn't give a fuck.
And I'll tell you what, I've never seen him that animated in the corner as I did with the Lewis fight and then with Jermaine Taylor.
Jermaine Taylor, Lewis, and Vladimir Klitschko. Those are the 3 times he went ballistic. Ballistic. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's insane, man. It's insane. So listen, man. Where does Josh Taylor, Josh Taylor slowed down here in the later rounds, and he looked good early, but down the stretch, man, did not have it down the stretch. I don't want to pull a Robert here. I don't want to pull a Robbie here.
Oh, come on now.
Come
all
on,
of a
man.
sudden, you don't want to
talking
pull
about
a
Josh
Robert.
Taylor
you
here.
You want to pull a Robert. You wouldn't have said you didn't want to pull a Robert if you wanted to pull a Robert.
You got a point. Is it time? I'm going to put the ball in your court. Is it time for him to find something else to do?
Absolutely, because here's the thing. No disrespect to Essiman. If you can't beat Essiman,
wow.
Can you beat Boots?
Essiman, you think Essiman's that bad of a fighter? I think Essiman looked good.
He's a good fighter, but Eric.
You don't think he's championship level?
He's domestic level, Eric. That's domestic level.
Wow. That was cold-blooded, man.
He was a 3.5.
That was far more cold-blooded than anything I've ever said on this show.
He was a 3.5-1 favorite. He's not supposed to lose that fight. But the UK guys knew something we didn't.
They sure did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they picked it out. There was 2 or 3 of them in the chat. Daly was one. Was it Brian that was the other one? Hong?
All the UK guys.
All the UK guys knew it.
We did a show on Saturday, and all the UK guys were like, they were adamant about it. They were confident. They were like, there's no way Josh Taylor's winning this fight. They said it.
So this guy, Essiman, after watching him and really seeing him for the first time, I mean, this was really my first time. I mean, like I said, we may have seen him in the past, but I don't remember the guy. Who's a good matchup for him now?
Oh God. Trying to think.
Oh, that's a good one too. Raphael said Gatekeeper Taylor. Yeah.
Who could he fight? He could fight someone like Alexis Rocha, maybe. That'd be a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Maybe a Santillon.
I don't know, man. I tell you what, the guy looks like he's got talent to me. I don't know, man. I mean,
no, he's not a bad fighter.
Well,
but,
it sounds like you don't really care for him.
There's levels, man. Well, we got to be realistic. I know you like to sugarcoat these things, but you got a guy like Boots Ennis there. You got a guy like Brian Norman Jr. You got Connor Ben.
He's only got one loss, and that was to Harry Scarf.
Yeah, and he was supposed to beat Harry Scarf.
Is a killer.
No, he's not.
Harry Scarf? Come on, son. You talking about Harry Scarf here? Welterweight, son.
Listen, we got to be realistic.
He's the IBF European welterweight, son. Come on.
We got to be realistic here.
His last fight was against Ben Vaughn.
You know what would be a good fight for him? Maestro was saying this yesterday. Jack Catterall fight would be a good fight for
Jack Catterall. That's the fight to make.
Really good fight for him.
That's the fight to make, right? Yeah. That's the fight to make.
If Jack Catterall can get past Harlem Eubank, the winner of that fight would be a great fight for him.
Okay, so Harlem Eubank doesn't really have the talent as Chris Eubank, does he?
He's a pretty good fighter. He's another guy that
you think he wins that fight?
He could. He's a very athletically gifted guy. He can punch a bit.
I want to see the people in the chat. I want to see the UK in the chat.
He's 21-0 himself. Jack Catterall just lost to Arnold Barboza. The fight that I thought he should have clearly won, but he didn't. So
yeah.
But Jack Catterall's got the experience. He's got 32 fights.
That's a great fight, by the way.
This Catterall fight for Harlem Eubank is a big step-up fight.
It's a huge step up, right?
But again, this is Catterall moving up to 147. This is his first fight at 147. If I'm not, it's his first fight at 147. So let's see. Harlem Eubank's a big welterweight, decent sized welterweight. He's a strong welterweight, very quick, very athletic, quick reflexes. It's a very interesting fight. Very interesting fight.
Oh, I think so too. So
to answer your question, I would like to see Essiman fight the winner of that fight. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I do too, especially after this.
It would be a good sell for them in the UK. Another domestic fight.
Yeah,
right?
Alexander Wilson in the chat said people have said Josh Taylor's been shot for a couple of years now. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think he's a shot fighter, but I think he's very diminished as a fighter.
Oh, he's very diminished.
Yeah.
But
when you're
I don't
losing
like to use that word shot. That's
3-1.
harsh.
I mean, what was he 3-1 underdog, right? That's how
Taylor
I made all that cake. You know what I'm saying?
Josh Taylor was a decent sized favorite in that fight.
Yeah, 3-1. It was a 3-1.
Yeah.
I bet 5 units. I got 1750 back.
Yeah, you made some good cake on that one. I got to give you credit, man.
Can you imagine betting 500 and getting 1750 back? It's
I know.
insane,
Imagine
right?
that.
Right?
Imagine
I bet
that.
$5 and got $17 back.
That's right.
That's because I'm a high roller. That's how I do it, though.
That's right.
You know, I mean, it's just the way it is, man. The way it is.
Yeah.
Is
So
just
Josh
the way
Taylor,
it is.
you have to be realistic here, though, Eric. Josh Taylor lost his last 3 fights. He lost to Teofimo Lopez badly.
Hey, Catterall.
He lost to Catterall pretty handily, in my opinion. I don't care what Aram says. I thought he lost that fight pretty,
I thought Now, you know what? I thought Taylor won that first Catterall fight. Well, he did, I guess, but that second Catterall fight, he definitely lost.
Well, again, I only had Catterall beating him in the first fight by a point. So it wasn't, people act like Catterall blew him out of the water in the first fight. It was a close fight,
I didn't think so. I think I had it 116, 112 in the first fight.
No, I think you had.
I had him.
No, you think you had it 114 to 111 because I think there was a couple knockdownckdowns or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I had it. You
had it like Andre Ward had it because Andre Ward had it for Josh Taylor in the first fight too. I think your card was very similar to Andre Ward's,
which should let you know that my card was correct.
Well, I mean, he did win the fight. You were on the winning side of it. Your card. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, you could argue. Now you could argue he'd lost his last 4 fights. Right? I mean, you could argue that he lost that first Catterall fight.
Yeah.
Lost
but he definitely lost. He lost 3 in a row. He lost to Teofimo Lopez, Jack Catterall in the rematch, and he lost to Essiman. So again, that's a telltale sign that you're on the way down.
And man, I'm telling you right now, there's no way. I mean, Josh Taylor years ago would not have lost to Essiman.
No,
he just wouldn't have. That's not a fighter that he would have lost to.
Let's look at some of these guys, right? Jaron Ennis, Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr., Jack Catterall, Mario Barrios, Rolando Romero, Alexis Rocha, Jose Ramirez. I mean, he could rematch Jose Ramirez at 147 to kind of see where he's at because there's another guy, Jose Ramirez, is kind of on the way down as well too. So.
Yeah, but, I mean, where does I can't see him beating Jaron. I can't see him beating Ennis. I can't see him beating Haney. I can't see him beating Norman.
Yeah.
Catterall's beat him, you could argue, twice, but that second fight, I mean, that was a clear win for Catterall, I thought.
Yes. I mean, Barrios, I think, would beat him right now, too. I mean, what about Rolly Romero versus Josh Taylor? Who wins that fight?
I mean, at this point, you got to favor Romero, right?
You could say Romero, right?
He's got 3 losses. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. In a row, so it's a tough one.
How did he beat Brian? How about he beat Ryan Garcia? How about that?
Ryan Garcia,
insane, right?
Yeah.
Would you have ever bet Rolly Romero over Ryan Garcia? I would have never.
No
way, right?
My buddy Sutter Kane was telling me all along that Rolly was going to beat him. So
you were the only one. There was you who said that. And it wasn't you picking him, but you said you knew one guy who was picking him.
One person that picked him.
And he rolled with him all that time and got him.
He told me like a month in advance that he thought he was going to beat him. He said it to me.
Yeah, that's what's nuts about it.
It is what it is. What am I going to do?
Mario Barrios, I don't think he beats him. I don't think he beats him.
Yeah. I just don't see it, Eric. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can't.
Wasn't there a rift between the Eubanks? Because I'm looking at Harlem Eubank right now, between like Harlem Eubank and Chris Eubank Jr.
No. They've always gotten along. Yeah, it was only Chris.
Some kind of rift between them.
It was only Chris and his dad. It was only Chris and his dad.
Okay.
The rift. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, because he was there at the fight. He was cheering Chris on. Yeah, that's his cousin Harlem. Yeah, they've always.
Catterall beats him, right? You think he beats him?
Catterall beats Harlem Eubank.
Yeah.
I think I would edge Harlem Eubank here.
Really?
Least, yeah.
So you're going to take Harlem Eubank over Catterall, huh?
I would, yeah.
Wow.
I would. I didn't like how Catterall looked against Barbosa.
Yeah, he's coming off a loss, man. So
Harlem Eubank has a lot of potential. It's not a bad fighter. Not a bad fighter at all.
Well, you can't make a living off potential, buddy. No, I'm taking Catterall.
But you can fulfill it.
That's right. That's right.
Fulfill it.
That's the Beeb right here. That's the positivity of the Beeb. That's why I bring him on the show.
When I was in school, teachers told me I wasn't going to be anything. And look where I am now. I'm sitting right next to you doing one of the greatest podcasts on YouTube.
I mean, come on, right?
All right. Look where I am today. Look where I am today.
From Boston.
There it is, baby. What happened to our team? Celtics are out.
Oh,
Cleveland's out. I don't even.
Don't even bring that up, please. I was hoping.
OKC got blown out last night. It's 2-1 now. Minnesota
this is insane. Like we're in bizarro world right now.
You saw the Knicks are down 0-2 now, right?
That's right.
Indiana.
That's right.
Man.
This is the most bizarre playoffs I've ever seen in a long, long time. I can't remember.
You know what? It's good though, because I think that it's good having these teams that not the usual suspects.
I kind of like it too. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool, but it's not really cool if you're a Boston Celtics fan though.
That's true. That's true. Like, I don't like seeing the Yankees in the World Series all the time, or the Dodgers, and you know what I mean? Like the same old teams over and over and over. So it's good to get some parity in there.
No, I got you.
King KO says Knicks are losing today 3-0. Let me call DraftKings. The chat's on fire, man. The chat's on fire.
The chat's on fire. I guess not listening to the chat, man. They know what they're talking about.
King KO says Josh Taylor versus David Avanesian. Loser retire. Why not? Why not?
I would probably pick Avanesian.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't look great, man. I'll tell you what, Taylor did not look great. He looked great in the first couple rounds, but that fight's got to go 12.
I understand.
What belt were they fighting for? Did you notice that also? That belt?
Some IBF secondary title.
Union or something. Like, what? Yeah. Like, they give them all the belts that these guys get. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's IBF or WBA, whatever. Like, this was the World Union belt or whatever it was, or this was, just something crazy. The WBC Intercontinental belt, No
one cares about those belts. They're, like I said before, they're not like those British Commonwealth titles. They don't garner the same respect as those belts do. No one,
and like those British Commonwealth titles and stuff, they do garner respect over there.
They mean a lot. They mean a lot. Like the fans get behind those belts. They take those belts seriously.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we're talking about this IBF title like we don't even know what the fuck it is.
Right.
Right. But we know more about what these Commonwealth titles are than we do with these titles.
Exactly.
Because of the way they're perceived in the UK.
Yeah. And they love them over there. That's why I say, man, the UK fans are the best fans out, man. No question.
And again, when you look at these domestic level fights, right, and you compare them to our domestic level fights, those fights over there are just really good fights.
And let me tell you what, we get a hard time. It's just not a big sport over here. It's just not. Big fights are big over here.
Yeah. We have big events.
Right.
They have big fights consistently, like good fights
all the time. Where in the world? Okay, where other than England can you sell out an arena like Wembley or Wembley Stadium or Wembley State? They have fights in stadium like Tottenham Stadium or whatever.
Yeah.
Where can you do that where you're going to sell out a stadium here?
Yeah.
And they're selling out stadiums. That doesn't make sense to me. We had a fight in Cincinnati. Like I said, when Bronner was fighting in Cincinnati, it was at the Cintas Center, the Xavier on the Xavier campus, Xavier University. 5,000-6,000 people tops. They didn't even rent out like the upper bowl. Yeah. It was like the floor seats and then that first row, and that's it. And then the other ones were cut off because they're not going to sell it out.
Where do you think they're going to end up putting this Crawford-Canelo fight? Do you think it's going to be like in the T-Mobile Arena? Or what do you think they're going to do?
It's got to be in the T-Mobile Arena. If it's on Saturday, it's got to be in the T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
UFC Noche is going to be in Vegas or in Guadalajara that same night. So you got two pay-per-views that you're going to have to, work your way around if you like both of those things. It's not a good, especially for this fight. Scheduling was awful.
Scheduling isn't good here, is it?
No. And that Noche isn't a fight night. That's a pay-per-view fight. Yeah. Now, it may be free in the US. I don't know. but it's going to take place in Mexico. And I mean, they're not.
The UFC's on DAZN now. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they're going to be on DAZN now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they got rid of ESPN.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
DAZN's actually stepping it up a little bit with their content, but
yeah. And now they're going to raise their prices again.
They probably are going to raise their prices again.
100% they're raising their prices, right?
Probably will.
Yeah, because they were supposed to put that fight on Netflix, but then they have a pay-per-view. They wanted it on pay-per-view or something along those lines.
A lot of people are kind of like upset with Turkey Al-Sheikh now because they're like, why aren't you putting it in Legion Stadium? Why aren't you putting it on Netflix? Why did you say it wasn't going to be pay-per-view, but now it's pay-per-view and stuff like so? I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm just, people.
Dana said that he hates putting fights in stadiums. Dana White said he hates putting fights in stadiums. And he didn't really elaborate on why. But I mean, think about it. You got the weather concerns. You got, there's a, what I mean? There's a lot of.
It's not a great viewing experience watching a fight in the stadium. It's like watching two ants.
You can't see anything.
You're too far away. You're too far away.
I like the arenas because at least the arenas are closer. There's less seating. It's closer.
Yeah,
you get a better seat. There's really not a bad, a lot of these arenas, man, there's not a bad seat.
And then you got the monitors and stuff. And you have a better viewing of the monitor. Even if there's a monitor in the stadium, you still can't always see the monitor. It depends where you are. Like there's a lot of obstruction in stadiums. A lot.
Well, I'll tell you this, just like the Final Four is usually held in like a bigger venue.
Yeah.
It's usually held in like a football stadium or something like that, like Ford Field or something. We've been to the Final Four a few times, man. And all of our tickets have been like up top. You know what I mean? And they were all horrible seats. Like you go there for the experience. Yeah, you can,
you can see everything.
Yeah, it's bad. Like you end up watching the Jumbotron more than you end up watching the action on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's the stadium, especially. I couldn't even imagine Jerry World for a fight. I couldn't imagine that. That's got to be awful, because they're fighting, I would think, right in the middle, and they've got all the seats around. So if you got even a good football seat, it's going to be a bad boxing seat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, man. All right, let's move over to Japan. Angela Leo versus Tomoki Kameda, 12 rounds for Leo's IBF featherweight title. Angela Leo beats Tomoki Kameda by majority decision, 115-113 and 116-112 and 114 all. So there you go. Angela Leo retains by just a squeak.
Yeah, it was a very competitive fight, and these guys kind of know each other pretty well.
Yeah,
and they're pretty. Both of them are very defensively responsible. They're not reckless guys in there. They're two highly skilled boxers, and when you have these types of fights, they're usually nip and tuck, and no one really pulls away. Sort of like Bivol and Beterbiev. You have two high-level boxers who are equally skilled, and what happens? You end up getting a close fight, and this was a close fight where Angela Leo just did that much more to pull away in the last two rounds, I felt, and it was a good performance. And whenever you can get a decision, in the other guy's home country, that says a lot, right there, right?
Yeah, and Angela Leo looks like he's calling out Inoue next, or he definitely wants to fight Inoue.
Yeah.
Inoue's a cut above, I think. I really do.
Yeah,
he's really a difficult fighter to face. You know what I mean?
Inoue's already said this. He's not going to run up to 126 just because people are calling him out. He can still make 122 comfortably. So
yeah. But do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think Inoue's power is diminishing?
No,
I don't either. No. I've heard a couple people say that.
No,
but he's still winning fights by knockout. He's still winning
guys, still hurting guys. Look at how guys react when he hits them.
It's some freakish power he's got. It really is.
I don't think 126 will be a step too far. I think that will be the ceiling. And I anticipate that he'll still be a threat at 126. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. But again, he's going to go up there when he wants to go up there, not just because guys are calling him out. And again, there's not going to be that much more left for him at 122. So ultimately, he probably will end up going up to 126, but on his timetable, not someone else's.
Yeah. All right, let me bring Robert on here.
Oh, Jesus.
Robert, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, Bobby?
Hello,
Bobby.
What up?
hello, guys. How are you?
Good, man. Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Well, and everybody needs to remember what Memorial Day is for, guys.
Oh, you're not one of those, are you? You're not one of those who sit there and like, oh, it's not for barbecues. It's for remembering everybody that you. Come on, man. We all know what it was.
Robert, you
don't try to
know,
ruin my holiday because you want to be a Karen.
You already know you and Mrs. Herrick are going to Applebee's.
Let them know.
And you are going to get a special dinner treat on Memorial Day tomorrow. So again, don't even pretend. Don't even pretend.
Okay,
you're not going to celebrate.
Let me know when you're finished.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're.
Let me know when you're finished. Who are you talking to, sir?
I forgot Robbie's producing the show.
Who are you talking to?
Man, he just laid a smackdown on Habib. I'll tell you that. That was cold.
There you go. Yep. As far as Josh Taylor goes, I don't know.
Explain yourself about Memorial Day. You're not going to just let that. Explain what you meant by that comment on Memorial Day.
Come on, he got one over on you.
Please.
Come on, he got one over on you. Come on. Let it go. Come on, what's the matter with you? He got one over on you.
You're going to let him get away with that?
Why are you blaming me?
You're going to allow him to desecrate Memorial Day?
All right, I can't. You're right. I can't. You did kind of take a dump on Memorial Day. I don't really like that.
Now, what did you mean by that snide little comment you snuck in there about Memorial Day? Condescending.
Condescending is to talk down to
preaching to us on how to celebrate holidays. Who are you, the connoisseur on holidays? On holiday celebration?
Give me a break.
Explain yourself.
What's the matter with you? All right, Robert.
Yeah. Anyway, let me get to Josh Taylor here. I don't know where he goes to from here. He looked absolutely terrible yesterday. And this was a guy he was supposed to be.
Guy's got a family.
But, Eric, I don't care if he's got a family or not. Boxing is a hurt business. And he didn't.
Oh, there you go with the tough guy acting. Now you want to shit on the fighters again. Now you want to shit on the fighters again. Here you go. Here we go with this routine where Robbie every week decides to shit on somebody.
Oh, stop it. Let him talk. What's the matter with you?
He's horrible.
No, seriously, guys, he was supposed to win this fight, and it was supposed to set up other fights. And because everybody made a big deal about, this is going to be his debut at 147. He's going to look much better. He didn't look better. He looked as bad as he looked against Catterall when they fought. So, I really don't know what Frank Warren or anybody from the UK is going to be able to do with him as far as a boxing career. Essiman, he's a good fighter, but he did something he wasn't supposed to do yesterday, and he actually beat a former champion. So the people that were making plans for Josh Taylor need to make those same plans for Echo Essiman here. And I don't know where Taylor goes to from here.
What do you think? What do you think Taylor should do next, Robert?
I don't know what that's my point, Eric. I don't know what he should do next because I don't know who he can fight that he's supposed to look good against.
Do you think
maybe it's the end of the road for him? I don't honestly know.
Do you think he's probably should call it a day?
Well, he's only 34 years old, Eric. I don't think he should call it a day, but 34. I don't know what anybody's going to do. I don't know what anybody's going to do.
He's on unk status
Robert,
now.
Let's just be honest, Robert. At 34 years old, you were severely diminished as well.
Oh, that was messed up. That was messed up. I can't stand for that. I'm sorry, Robert.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe,
you weren't at your best at 34 either, Robert.
Robbie's still in his prime.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Give me a break.
What's the matter with you?
Please.
I'll be 61 in October.
Here we go again now. You want a little sympathy now? Get an employee discount? Get out of here.
An employee discount? Is that what you just said?
A little senior citizen discount? Meant to say?
Break.
Can't get an employee discount. Let them go.
Eric, I'll tell you one thing I agree with Joe on. I think Harlan Eubank is going to beat Jack Catterall.
You think he's going to beat him?
Yeah, I think he's going to beat him. And I think both Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall are going to have the type of careers where they're both going to have to figure out what's next for them.
Wow. I think Catterall beats Eubank. And I've been on a tear.
No,
I predict Essiman to beat Taylor last night. You know that, right? That was my call, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you did,
Five
you did it last
dimes,
night.
son. Huh?
You did it last night where nobody could hear you. You waited till today to come on.
Beeb, do you got Beeb, did I send you?
First of all, Robert,
Did I send you the betting slip?
He sent me his bet slip, Robert, okay? Unlike you,
I come with receipts, son.
When you make statements and you try to pass them off as facts, and then we fact check you, and obviously you're horrifically wrong, at least 97% of the time.
At least 97%.
So unlike you, Eric brought receipts. Unlike you, Eric brought receipts.
Okay, here's something, guys, I'm not wrong about. The reason why the Canelo Crawford fight is not on Netflix is because Canelo wanted it on pay-per-view.
Okay, where is your source?
I don't have to have a source.
Yeah, you do have to have a source. You can't just pull this out of thin air, son. We always have to have sources.
You can just pull things out of thin air.
We got to have sources. We can't just drop a bombshell and say, oh, by the way, and this is what I heard. We got to have sources.
Well, hey, Eric, now watch. A couple of months from now, they're going to announce the fight is on pay-per-view.
We know
it's going to be on pay-per-view.
We already know that.
Yeah, but we don't know where it's going to be, Eric. I mean, Joe, since they changed the damn date.
And you know what else we don't know? We don't know that Canelo demanded the fight be on pay-per-view either.
I don't know that.
That's another thing we don't know.
Okay, Joe, answer me a question. When was the last time Canelo Alvarez had a fight?
Listen, we don't report based on logic here. We report based on sources and fact. We don't say, hey, I think that this is why it's going this way.
First of all, when Turki Al-Sheikh does deals with these guys, more often than not, pay-per-view is irrelevant to the fighter because he gives them such a large guarantee purse up front that
like $8 million in goal.
I mean, if Canelo is getting a guarantee of 100 million or 150 million, whatever it is, pay-per-view is irrelevant at that point. So again, the deal is
if that's the case, Joe, then why the hell isn't it on Netflix if that was their plan all along?
You know why it's not on Netflix? Because it's Turki Al-Sheikh's decision. You know why? Because he's the one funding the fight.
The money man.
He decides where the fight's going to go, not the fighter.
Okay.
All right, Robert, we're going to put you back in the queue. We're going to get going here. So just hang on for me.
All right.
Get him out of here.
Okay.
Fountain of misinformation.
A fountain of misinformation. 210 San Antonio, Texas. You're live, 210.
Hey, guys. Bam Rodriguez country. How's it going? This is Rod.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I usually save y'all for when I like to listen to y'all when I'm, driving and doing stuff. But like you said, man, it's a weird time in the NBA, but it's also like a weird time in boxing. There's not really much going on. And I agree with Dana. I don't like these stadium fights because the line of sight for like a football stadium the seats are always way back.
Yeah. And
they're usually not as steep. So you're further away from the ring. And I hate being on the floor because it has a bigger floor section and you got to look over everybody. You know what I mean? So when everybody's standing up, you got to pretty much stand on your chair. So I understand that. That's why I'm upset that Bam's going to fight in Dallas when he's from here in San Antonio, which he can build, he could be like a second franchise here because all we have is the Spurs. We don't have a football team. We don't have a baseball team, but we're the sixth largest city in the country and the second per capita when it comes to Mexicans and Mexican Americans behind LA. So I think they're kind of missing the target here, not by much because Dallas is like 4 hours, but yeah, that's what I heard y'all talk about, like Dana White. I agree on that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's a tough watch in the stadium. You know, even when Canelo fights in Jerry World or wherever he fights, it's in a stadium. You remember so you remember in Mexico, hey Beeb, you remember when Chavez fought Haugen in Mexico in that big stadium? You're muted. Come on, get it together.
Robbie muted me, man.
He muted you.
That little rat. So, anyways, yeah, that was 130,000 people in that stadium, right?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, Chiquita Gonzalez and Humberto, was it Chiquita Gonzalez and Michael Carbajal fought in the bull ring down there and everything. They're just not good seats, you know.
Yeah.
Those seats were going for like little or nothing because they're not good seats.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen with this being? Because you know what we don't know yet. You talk about sources. Nobody really knows why Dana's not going to be involved. Why they moved the date from Friday to compete with UFC? Did they have a falling out with Dana? Because now they're competing straight with with the UFC. So I think something happened.
Well,
and yeah, it's just weird times, man.
Can Dana White promote 2 fights back to back like that? 2 big events?
He's going to have to. I mean, he's going to have to. I mean, good luck with that. You know.
Well, he's not promoting the Canelo fight anymore. They're having the Saudis.
That's right. You said they got him out and they're putting somebody
they changed
else.
it.
Yeah.
So what I think is
two things.
He can't do 2 things like that too close together.
Those are 2 huge events.
Let me ask your opinion on something. This is the last time I'm going to talk about it. Do you think Canelo Alvarez told Turki Al-Sheikh that this fight has to be on pay-per-view? Do you think he demanded that, according to Robbie?
I think he has that. I think he has that power. I mean, and that's why when people say, why didn't David fight Canelo when he was on? They were on the same side of the street on PBC. I'm like, Canelo's going into Al Heyman's office, and he's probably the only fighter that can tell Al Heyman, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. He's the only one that can do that with. He's one of the only ones that could do that with the belt too. So when they say, Benavidez should have enforced this, I'm like, you can't enforce nothing on Canelo because then he'll drop the belt.
I understand that, but when someone is funding the event, they're financing the event, they decide how it's going to be broadcast. The fighter doesn't decide that. He's not the financier of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with one of your other callers, but I think they will be on pay-per-view because this is the one.
Oh, it's going to be on pay-per-view.
I don't like I don't
Yeah.
like the fight because, like, I heard a couple of. I think last week it was a caller said that stating the facts and kind of what Oscar De La Hoya pointed out, just with their ages, the inactivity. Canelo shot, I think his leg and his time is on.
He's not wrong. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Neither one of these guys now are in their primes. Neither one.
Yeah. So. And again, Canelo's had like 5 cherry picks in a row, and you can't stop these guys. But with their 2 marquee names, and I think it's going to be on pay-per-view because I think it's going to get close to 1 million or maybe over because the names are what sells right now. Canelo's his baseline is 500,000 no matter who he fights. But when you have Crawford, I mean, everybody's going to be high on the win, the highlights off of what he did to Spence, which I think he beat Spence 10 times out of 10, but I think that win was a little overrated because Spence was clearly shot. I mean, clearly, he looked horrible.
Yeah,
so,
but you know what? I don't know. I'm not 100% on board with that because look, he did look bad, but how much of that was Terrence Crawford making him look bad? Yeah. He didn't look that bad in the fight beforehand.
I agree.
I know, but
I agree. I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was a little bit of both, but I don't know. It's just weird times. I don't like this fight. It doesn't mean anything, like somebody said last week on your show, and I think it was one of y'all. But then we have this lull in the event where there's not really much going on, and then we have Tio getting weird on us again. We got these weird cards that didn't produce, and we got Tank Davis. Who knows what Tank's doing? You know what I mean? Like I'm just really sick of that crop of fighters. But what I'll say in closing is, but what brings me hope is the younger guys like Bam, like Bruce Shufu Carrington, like Abdullah Mason, even Torres, Richard Torres, as limited as he is. These guys seem like they're a little more mature and they're younger. They're not trying to be Money Mayweather like the Tios, the Devin Haney's, the Tanks, the Ryans, these guys. That whole crop was just kind of toxic, bro. But no, I appreciate the content, y'all. I just wanted to kind of vent my frustrations with the lull in the action, but also all the weird stuff.
Before you go, let me ask you a question. What is your excitement level for Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios on July 11th? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Thank you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level?
If it wasn't for personal relationships, I would be at like a 2. But I know Mario Barrios personally.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, B, but I mean, me and you did some work together, B, back when I was covering him for Nest. But yeah.
What's your name?
He's a good.
What's your name if you don't mind? What is it?
Rod.
Oh, Rod. You used to write for us, right?
No, I just did some stuff down here in Texas.
Okay. I remember because yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, just for a short while. But yeah, back then I did some videos with Mario when he was giving away shoes to kids in the hood for the holidays. And he's actually a really good kid.
He's a great guy, man.
Yeah.
Barrios is a really good guy.
But I don't like the fight, but I'm really happy for him. And as limited as Barrios is, like the stars aligned for him. He got $3 million for the Tyson undercard. He's gonna get a lot of money this time. He got Thurman and Tank back to back. That was like 1.5 baseline. I mean, I'm not counting his money for him, but the kid did really good for as limited as he was. So I think this is that illustration of there's a handful of Heyman fighters that he takes care of really well. The ones who stuck with him and were loyal from the beginning. But there's only like 5 of them that he really takes care of like this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for the call, man. Don't be a stranger, man. All right. Keep calling back. Thank you so much, man. It was a great call. All right. Let's go, Joe Habibi. Let's see here. Let's go to Jerry. I believe it's 410. I believe this is Jerry. 410, you're live. There we go.
Hi, Jerry. How are you, Jerry?
Oh, what's the matter with you?
Poor guy Robbie, man. Every week he comes on here to help you 2 lesbians out, and all you do is shit.
Be a lesbian. I'm okay with being a lesbian. I'm a lesbian.
As a whipping boy, I don't know, the guy, he's got no self-dignity. You know better than to pull that shit with me, because I'll rip you 2 casual girls a new ass.
That's right. That's why we don't mess with you. That's right. We've learned. We've learned.
You smoke 17 packs of cigarettes a day. I don't want you to have you raise your voice.
Man, don't you know better? Weird circumstances surrounding this Canelo Crawford fight in the promotion. It sure is. I mean, when it was announced that Dana White was going to be involved, I was like, that seems like a real conflict of interest, because Turk, it's very clear, this guy hasn't been motivated by money. The purses that he's been paying makes it clear he's not motivated by money. And when you're not motivated by money with this boxing promotion, it's control. He wants control. And with Dana White, it's not like that guy's broke. He's had a lot of problems with how boxing is run. I think very valid things. And I think what happened there, without knowing, spitballing, of course, is, something went wrong there. It's obvious something went wrong, because they totally switched gears regarding the date, the venue, the promotion, the whole thing. It started out on one track with Dana White being heavily involved in kicking off some type of new endeavor where he's going to be taking over like a big part of the promotion stuff. And what I suspect went wrong is he wanted too much control. He wanted too much control, and Turkey doesn't want to do it. And he doesn't need Dana White. I'm not sure why it even was being considered to begin with, but hopefully, we'll find out in the weeks to come. Josh Taylor, I've never been really excited about Josh Taylor. He was a good fighter. Seemed to quickly reach an apex, and that was that. And what can you do? I mean, I watched this fight the other night. I didn't think he really looked that bad, but he just lost. He just lost. It wasn't to me that he just looked horrible, like his reflexes were gone. And
he didn't
look
like a shot fighter. I don't think he looked like a shot fighter at all.
He didn't look shot to me. In fact, the first 5 or 6 rounds, I thought he was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, we see time and time again with fighters that we don't know or see, and they show up and they wind up being good. And that's why you never can, like, I never heard of the guy that he fought, but I was, just looking at him, you could see, I mean, this guy was a very fit guy. He just can't write nobody off, man. But I don't know where Josh is. He's a tweener. He's kind of like Arturo Gatti in a sense, in my estimation, where he's probably too big for 140. It's probably hard for him to make 140, but he's just probably not big enough for welterweights.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some he could beat, but I don't know. And who knows? I mean, guy just might. I mean, we've seen this before. Guys reach like an apex quickly, and then they that's it. The rocket's coming on its way back down now. And he's just not exactly the same fighter that he was. But he made his mark. And he probably made some decent money, and where he goes from here is, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a slow week this week. From what I understand, Jamal Charlo was coming back next weekend, I think it is. He'll be fighting, and I don't know what to make of him, man. He's been out for a long, long time.
Yeah.
His opponent, another guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who this guy is he's fighting, but if this guy is worth his salt, I don't know. I think the time has come and went for Jamal. He may get past this guy, not knowing who this guy is. Maybe he's not that good, and it's a real setup for him. But I don't know, man. I don't know how you can go away that long and have the problems that he had and come back and think you're going to pick right back up where you left off. Lastly, Earl Spence. Yeah, Earl Spence was shot to pieces when he got in there against Bud Crawford. That's no knock against Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford's a great fighter. We know that. But Earl Spence is a lot better than what he showed that night. That's a guy that's never been down in his career. And in the second round, he was put down by a jab. And by the fourth round, the doctors were looking at him. By the fourth round, they could see this guy, something ain't right. He didn't have his legs. He just was not the same fighter. He hadn't fought in, I think, 13 months prior to that fight. And during that time, and even prior to even longer than the 13 months, for about 2 years, he said, I can't make welterweight. I will not fight at welterweight, but only Bud for the undisputed title. It's the only fight. And everything else, his lifestyle, admittedly partying a lot, the car wreck, of course, the long layoff, just all caught up to him. The weight cutting, staying in that one division his whole career, even though he was busting at the seams. And plus he hasn't fought or really been heard from since. Guy was washed. Bud Crawford fans don't need to take that personally, but Crawford did what he's supposed to do. Not his problem that any of that was in play, but it was in play. And so what you got was Earl Spence didn't do as good as Benavidez or Greenby or Avanesian or any of those far less quality fighters. He didn't even do as good as them. He got totally dominated, and I just feel like the guy was just washed. I don't really want to see him fight again, him or Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, no, I agree with
All
that.
right.
I agree with that. All right, Jerry, we're going to get rolling, man. Thank you so much for the call. Beeb, let me ask you. So, and we'll go to the schedule here in just a second, but Jamal Charlo is fighting Thomas Cornflake Lamanna on the 31st, which is next week. He hasn't had a knockout. He's undefeated, but he hasn't had a knockout since 2019. The last time he fought, I believe, was 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How much? I guess we're going to find out how much he has left. But what are you expecting from that fight?
Not much. Not much. Cornflake is again, he's he's at a certain level, and obviously he's being installed as the opponent in this fight for a reason. But Jamal,
but you could argue the same thing about Charlo, could you not? I mean, this is a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not expecting a lot out of this fight. I don't like.
Yeah.
When you saw him in his last fight, what was it against Jose Benavidez? I don't think that
Charlo's last fight was Jose Benavidez Jr. Yeah.
I don't think that was a great performance from him at all either. I mean, he won the fight, but Jose Benavidez isn't a real middleweight, and you saw he was hanging in there with Jamal. So based off what I saw in that fight, based off of the layoff, based off of just where his head's been at, outside the ring, and all the issues that he's had outside the ring, I don't have high expectations for him at all.
No.
So do I think this is going to be a good fight? Do I expect this to be a competitive fight? Do I expect this to be a exciting fight? No. I have very low expectations for this fight. And if I'm wrong, I'll be happy to be wrong. But
yeah, I think that's the thing. I mean, we're always happy to be wrong when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not rooting for the fight to not.
No, because we're gonna watch it, right?
Yeah, I'm not rooting for it to be uneventful, but again, I have to be a realist here.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. If you guys like what we're doing, like and subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Doesn't cost anything. Just give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out in the search and stuff like that. So thank you. May 28th in Japan on DAZN, Eduardo Nunez. This is like a Tuesday or Wednesday fight. Eduardo Nunez versus Mansouri Rikishi. 12 rounds for the vacant IBF junior lightweight title. Let's see. May 30th. I guess that's looks like Friday, the 30th. From Mexico on DAZN. Mirjan Akhmadiliev versus Luis Castillo, 12 rounds, junior featherweights. Also, May 30th on DAZN, Beck the Bully, Melikuziev versus Darius Fulgham, 12 rounds, super middleweights. Eric Priest on the undercard versus the dreaded TBA. So there you go. And then, of course, the one we were talking about on Prime Video, Saturday, May 31st, Caleb Plant versus Jose Armando Resendez, 12 rounds, super middleweights. And then Jamal Charlo versus Thomas Cornflake Lamana.
Yeah.
All right. So so Caleb Plant when was the last time? Plant's another one that he's been off for a minute. Let me see. When was the last time he fought? Let's see here.
I
got it pulled up now. 2024. So not too long ago.
Yeah.
No, in fact, September of 24, Trevor McCumbee.
Yeah.
And then so he's not as active. He had one fight in 24, one fight in 23 against David Benavidez, and then one fight in 22. So he's fought like once every year.
Well, again, it's a common theme here with these PBC guys. They just I don't think PBC is able to get the dates that they want. You know, these fighters aren't active, and they're just the PBC has not been able to get dates. I don't know what the problem is.
I mean, they got channels. They got
Amazon Prime. They got Amazon Prime, but again, how much availability does Amazon Prime have for PBC events?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be. You'd think it was would be better than it was, but no. Yeah. So I don't understand.
It doesn't seem like Amazon Prime is really prioritizing boxing. I mean, they prioritize a lot of the other sports like the NFL. And,
I mean, let's be honest here. There's a huge difference between the ratings in the NFL and the rating against PBC. So
of course, but again, they're not really making an effort at all, like the Zone is with their boxing. You know what I mean? It's like night and day. It's like night and day. They're not. I guess the point I'm trying to make is they're not totally vested in boxing like the Zone is.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go to the news and rumors here. Beeb. It's been a long time coming. I've always asked myself, because Indiana, Las Vegas, New Jersey, they all have New York, obviously. They all have boxing Hall of Fames. Ohio, who produces the most champions in the sport. Now, that's not let me tell you this. They produce more champions than Massachusetts does. How about that? How about that?
In what sports?
Boxing. Come on.
We had Rocky Marciano.
Marciano?
Okay.
They didn't even have cars back then. All right, don't tell me about Marciano.
We had Marvin Hagler.
Who?
We had Dangerous Dana Rosenblatt.
Stop it. Now you get.
We had Richie the Mountain LaMontagne.
You talking about Marvin Hagler?
Yes.
The guy that did soap operas? That guy? Come on. Who else did you guys have from up there? Who else? Who else is
Jermaine Ortiz.
Peter McNeely.
Peter McNeely,
the Hurricane. Peter McNeely from Medfield. Wasn't it Medfield?
Yes.
Medfield,
Mass. Western Mass.
So great news for Ohio, man. We're getting a Boxing Hall of Fame. This is actually being put together by Cincinnati fighter Nate Tubbs, brother of one of my absolute favorite fighters growing up and even now, one of my favorite fighters, Tony TNT Tubbs, baby. Tony TNT Tubbs, the champ. I got to meet him, by the way, this week when we were talking about this Hall of Fame thing, and I got to meet Tony Tubbs, the nicest guy you'll ever meet. He's just incredible, man. Took a picture with him and everything. He's such a great guy.
That was a nice picture you took with him too, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome guy, man. Awesome guy. One of the highlights, one of the boxing highlights of my life, I'll tell you that. So the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be May 30th and May 31st in Ohio. So they're going to have a meet and greet on the 30th, and then an induction ceremony, of course, on the 31st. You can buy tickets if you guys are in the Ohio area. Let me put the ticket link up here. Give me 2 seconds here. Yeah. If you're in the Ohio area and you want to go to this, it's the 30th and 31st. It's called, you can go to VikeNation.org/tickets. That's our Princeton High School. So VikeNation.org/tickets. And you can pick up the Ohio Boxing Hall of Fame tickets. So, and be there. You know, here's the other thing is that on this meet and greet, let me tell you who's going to be there. Tony Tubbs, of course, will be there. Nate Tubbs, Buster Douglas, Jamel Herring, Mike Tyson will be there.
That's awesome.
Zab Judah will be there. Floyd Mayweather Sr. will be there. Jeff Mayweather, Jazzy Jeff Mayweather will be there. That and a whole host of other people, other past fighters. So should be a great time, should be a great event. So again, if you guys are in Ohio, VikeNation.org/tickets, get your tickets today. This weekend coming up, guys. So don't, if you're in the Ohio area or you're not from Ohio, you just want to be here to experience how champions live, because this is title town, right? Ohio is title town. You want to experience how the champs live right here, buddy. We're in Ohio.
Are you going?
Title town, Jack. Yeah. I'll be going.
You gonna go?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah. So there we go.
You,
maybe
man.
I can talk to Nate Tubbs and convince him to put like a podcast area in that Hall of Fame, and then me and you'll be inducted. There you go.
Right.
I mean, we should be in somebody's Hall of Fame. I got to be honest. We should be in somebody's Hall of Fame. Babe, we've been doing this for a while now.
I know.
We've been doing it for a while.
Long time.
Long career here.
How many shows has it been so far?
535. This is our 535th show. Yeah, there you go.
Are we gonna do something for the 550th, or we wait till 600?
No, we don't do anything with 5. We only do that. We only do it on the hundreds.
On the hundreds, okay.
Yeah, we do
again.
We don't do that. We're not. No,
I have no say in this. I'm just asking.
You leave creative control up here. All right. You leave it to title town in Ohio.
I don't title the shows. I don't do the show notes. I just show up every day like I'm told to on Sundays, and I'm here.
That's right.
That's my role.
That's right. That's how we like it. That's how we like
all
it.
I do.
Beeb, no creative control for the Beeb at all. None.
Zero.
So that's happening, man, and we're all pretty excited about it in Ohio. So if you're in there, Eric. Come on down, man. I love it, man. I love it. Really I felt like we should have had one for a long time. Like I said, Indiana has one. You know, and they don't, I'm just saying.
Vegas has one too.
Vegas has one. New Jersey, I believe New Jersey has one. Who?
Does New York have one?
They have the IBOF, the International Boxing Hall of Fame. They have the main one there. So I think that's probably,
they have the main one in Canastota, so there's no need to have one. I was
thinking,
do
they have a Hall of Fame in Boston? They should, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, let me see. Do we have, I don't know if we have, I know we have the Basketball Hall of Fame here. I don't know.
You got the NBA and everything there?
We have the Basketball Hall of Fame is in Massachusetts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me see. Is there a Boxing Hall of Fame? Is there a Boxing Hall of Fame?
No, they just got the Berkshire Country Club Hall of Fame in Lenox, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Berkshire County Boxing Hall of Fame. What is this? Let me see. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, the Basketball Hall of Fame is in Springfield, Massachusetts. The museum.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
No
yeah.
way. Is it okay? So is it for pro and amateur?
It's for everything. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see. There you go.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's move ahead here. Tyson Fury, Beeb, said he's staying retired. Put out a post on Instagram saying, he hears a lot of talk, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, it looks like he says he's staying retired.
Yeah, I think he should, because I just don't think his head is in it anymore.
No.
I think he's made enough money. I don't think there's anything else left for him to do.
There's a pretty, like when you're retired, to come back from doing nothing, or doing things you like, or just not getting hit in the face, or having to get up at 5 a.m. and run, it's got to be a hard habit to change.
He's made more money than he could ever spend, right? As long as he invests it properly. I mean, he could live off
for the most part, I would think. I mean,
you could live off the interest,
You would think, but who knows? Who knows? Speaking of money, Manny Pacquiao will be trained by Freddie Roach for the Barrios fight. He was just at the wild card a few days ago to start his training. Guys, again, another horrible idea. This is and I love Manny Pacquiao, right? I
love him to death,
Pacquiao.
but this is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. It's a horrible idea. What was it? Steve Kim had that quote where he said, in boxing, they don't give you watches, for retirement. They give you beatings. They hand out beatings for,
He said that, yeah.
And I don't see any possible way he wins this fight.
No,
none.
I don't see it.
And listen, he looks like he's in good shape for being the age he is. What is he, 40 some years old or whatever? Listen, he looks like he's in good shape. He can still move and everything like that, but his reflexes are gone. You saw that in that exhibition fight. Those reflexes were gone.
Sean Zattel made a great point. And he was at a fight once, he said, and he was talking to like a veteran boxing writer, a guy that's in his 80s. Mm-hmm. And he said, when a guy comes back, all these guys look great at the gym.
Oh yeah.
All of them look great 100%. In the gym. But what you see in the gym, it's not it shows up in the ring. So if someone doesn't have it anymore, you're not going to see it in the gym. You're going to see it in the ring. That's when you see it. So because how many times you see these older guys in the gym looking great, but it doesn't translate into the fight?
Well, we see them looking great because they're trying to promote a fight.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, I can't imagine they look that great once they get, because you see the result in the ring.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, they got to know what the score is.
Sure.
Is there anybody being honest with these guys and saying, like, and I know you're supposed to, keep them up and keep the spirits up and everything like that. But that's a tough pill to swallow, man, especially when you're that old. You haven't fought in that long. That's a big deal.
I mean, a lot of people can look good hitting the bags. A lot of people can look good doing boxing exercises, but that doesn't mean you're going to have a successful boxing career. Right? No. That doesn't mean that doesn't always mean you're going to be successful in the ring, or you're going to be able to beat certain guys. It is what it is.
I get it, man.
Training is different from the actual fight.
There's a difference getting in there and training. You can look at Tyson. When they were leading into the Jake Paul fight, he appeared to still have the speed and everything like that. But again, man, you're talking 12 rounds over a guy that's like, decades younger than you are.
Yeah.
And trains every day. That guy's in good shape. He trains every day.
Big difference.
So, yeah. Floyd Schofield versus Tevin Farmer added to the Chavez-Jake Paul card. It's not a bad fight.
Not a bad fight at all.
Not a bad fight at all. I think it's a very good fight. Not bad at all. I like it. don't know if I'm watching that Jake Paul's card still. I don't know. Him and Chavez Jr. What? Chavez Jr. Last time he fought, he was beaten by Anderson Silva, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva's not even a boxer.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva can box, but he's not a boxer.
I don't get this fight at all.
I don't either.
It is what it is. What am I going to do? I have to accept it.
I don't get it either.
It's a weird fight.
Did I mention James Buster Douglas going to be at the Hall of Fame?
Yes, you did.
All right.
Yes, you did.
I've got a signed glove by James Buster Douglas. How about that?
Do you really? Wow.
I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you. That's cool.
Craziness.
That's real cool.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1, find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com, and you can find me on X at ringside73. And guys, we will see you next week.